a new guest with us today, Flor.
Yay!
Hello. Hello
Um,
Welcome,
there.
Flor.
welcome, welcome. And then you have your usual host. I'm Emily.
I'm Ellie.
And I'm Emmy.
That's awesome.
Good.
So,
Nice to
we're,
meet you all here.
nice. Oh, thank you. Flor, do you want to share, talk more about yourself?
Okay, well, I am Florencia. I am an English teacher working in a shop, a factory which produces parts for cars and trucks, and it's an industrial area here in Tucumán. And I left my parents' house when I was 18 to accomplish a professional career, and I decided to stay in this city, which is San Miguel de Tucumán. And throughout my way, I worked in many areas, such as sales, as an English tutor, and now as an assistant.
I met
Very,
Flor through common friends.
yes,
Uh,
I was telling that.
yeah, and we met several years ago when I had a neck. Now I don't have it, but Flor knew me before that, so it's. I have to say, Flor, thank you for being here. Thank you for joining us and share your story with us. Because we want to share also your industry, your job to other women to know
um,
how to look up for these kind of jobs also.
and thank
Um,
you for having me. And this is very important for me. I really appreciate this space that you are giving to me. And well, as Ellie said, we met before at the bookshop. I used to sell books, English books, in fact, and I think that that's where my career started, since it was my first job here in San Miguel, and from there I met the person who hired me as a tutor, as an English tutor, and then she recommended me to an accountant's firm, and that firm is the one that opened the doors for me to work in this new company.
That's
So
awesome.
uh, my path is very long, and I am really grateful to all the people who trusted me.
That's awesome.
oh,
And just to be clear, your current role, you're an executive assistant
Yes,
in the industry of like manufacturing, pretty much manufacturing industry,
yes,
transportation, correct?
yes. That's right. And I am uh, well, as you know, this role of being an assistant is very stereotypical, let's say.
Yeah.
Uh,
Mm,
people is uh, it was thought of a person who is just there to fetch coffee, and
yeah.
I think we really evolutionate. We are very powerful women. We have we learn to be great administrators. We know many things. We have many abilities and skills to show, and it's important that our bosses and managers um, show you how important you are to the organization.
Uh-huh.
And I have never felt like just there to pour coffee,
Good.
yeah.
because they have never empowered me to show my potential, and they are always challenging me to show more, to give more. So I think they are pushing me to or encouraging me to explore my skills and my, I don't know, my knowledge and
Yeah.
my
That's
ability to
so powerful.
learn.
Yeah. And that's
Yes.
why. And you said
Mhm.
that, right? And that's why we're starting the podcast with this quote that you said during our rehearsal. Like you said, I am not your typical assistant here to just fetch you coffee. Like,
Yes.
like that
Such a
executive
powerful
assistant. Yeah.
phrase.
Do you know, in another word, like it's also chief of staff. Like you are pretty much right, like managing a lot of like the operation stuff. Like you're so important to the business, to the organization, because you keep everything in place and organized.
Yeah.
Yes, I once I when I was studying English, do you know the typical textbooks we have as English instructors, English teachers, there was a text that said the poor secretary. And it was an old lady who worked for a university doing paperwork, and she was never, I don't know, uh, she never felt secure to ask for a pay rise because
Oh,
she felt her job uh, was minimus or was not much exciting. And when she changed her boss, or she got a new boss, he told her how important she was for the organization, and also talked about the origin of the word secretary
mm.
is the one that keeps secrets, and the ones
Oh,
that knows everything.
oh, I
uh,
love
I love that.
yes, it's how powerful is that. It's not that you are doing nothing or minimum tasks. You are very important because
that.
you know everything, and
Yep.
almost everything is running thanks to you.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
Oh,
But you know what?
Mhm.
This is very stereotypical. You think about pouring coffee, fetching coffee, and I was thinking about the movie Working Girl, where the girl was a secretary, and she was ambitious enough to become someone very, very important to the
And
organization.
also,
Where,
uh, the Devil Wears Prada,
oh,
yeah,
where
I
this
remember.
girl, her name is Andrea, but her boss keeps calling her Emily because that was her former secretary. and
so
she
well done.
and she was so full of dreams, and that she accepted that job because that was the main door that will open to other path.
Mm.
And then she noticed her own worth. She was worth it or of more, and she was capable of doing more. And also her boss noticed that in her. But she was fetching coffee, buying things, and impossible missions like Harry Potter's
Books.
unpublished book.
Oh God, I remember
Yeah,
that. Yeah.
I love it. I love that movie.
And she wasn't allowed to get into the house of her boss until she showed she was worth it, that
Yep.
Yeah,
she was secure, she was proactive, she was smart.
You
yes.
know what?
She showed her
Another
value.
Yeah,
Yeah.
another quote came to mind is like, "What doesn't kill you make you stronger." I just
Yeah.
feel like whatever that happens, right? Like, you know what I'm saying? Without all those experiences and challenges, like she wouldn't be who she is today. And just
Yes.
like
Yeah,
you went through that, you know, like you had all these great managers that push you, encourage you to do
yeah.
more.
Yes. And when I was working for this accountant's firm, I knew nothing. I didn't even know what an Excel was. And I had to learn because at the same time I was required to do more, or they were expecting more from me. So I mean that simple action pushed me to learn and to be and to be looked at as the person who deserves to be there, to show that I was the one.
That is
So
so important. I have a question.
mhm,
Have you ever had someone that were more like the devil in Devil Wears Prada, that like challenged you in a very, you know what I'm saying, like in a manner that's like not as empowering, but you
Yeah,
actually, you know what I'm saying, like that, but you actually found you grew better from that experience.
yeah.
Fortunately, I didn't met anyone like that
Wow.
because I now I can see how their our bosses or my bosses' minds changed through the time. Probably in the past they would have been like that, like the bitches, but now, but my first boss at this my current company, um, he was very um, he was a smart man
Mm,
who in my first evaluation he told me, I know that you are new here, and if I ask you for something, it's for you to learn. I'm not here um, to how do you say, like, to put
to
obstacles here.
I'm not
I'm not
here to put your obstacles in your path, something like that.
Yes, something like that. But I'm in here to help you grow because
Mm.
this place has plenty of opportunity, and many of us started in the lowest step.
mm,
He started as an operator, first as a trainee when he was a student. Then he was from Brazil. He was promoted here to the highest level here in Argentina. And after a year and a half, he was promoted to China to
wow.
to a higher level.
Wow.
So I always remember him with a lot of gratitude because he never hostigated me, but he always offered uh, ways for me to have a smooth walk through the company. He was kind enough to teach me and to show me how to do things efficiently.
Mm-hmm.
Sometimes when the task became harder, he called me to his desk, and showed me how he would do it,
Wow.
knowing that I lack all that knowledge.
Wow. That's a
Yes.
I
really
love
good,
it.
yeah,
Yeah, you
experience.
had great leaders. Flor, I have a question for you because this
Hmm.
is more like I have a doubt.
Yes.
Have you ever had a female leader?
Not yet.
Oh.
That's weird because you have never had a female leader, so you have nothing to compare it with. And that was it was like I
Oh.
knew the bookshop leaders. I now that you're working like in a male leadership company,
Hmm.
and your previous job was also led by a man. That's why I was questioning myself. Have
Yes.
you
No,
ever
not
had
bad.
a female leader?
Probably I will be the leader of in the
Oh,
future. The leader of
I
the
love it.
Go
I
girl.
love. Yeah, I
Yes.
love it.
Uh,
That's the
and
spirit. I love
I
it.
saw that that's very important for us girls because men have been always exposed to the pressure to higher standards, and we have to learn now how to do that. And I really appreciate my boss' patience to show me to very. He was very kind to me to show me how he would do it, and how was it better to do something.
Oh my
Sometimes
goodness.
he likes challenges. That's
Yeah.
for real. And sometimes he used to text me on Sundays because he just an idea came up to him and say, "Don't answer today. We talk tomorrow." But it's not. It's for me not to forget.
Like a notepad.
Yes.
That's nice. That's so
Yeah.
uh,
nice.
you know, Flor,
And
you are breaking stereotypes here. Like you are not the fetching coffee secretary.
mm,
Your leaders, your main leaders, are teaching you and making you improve yourself and your knowledge and your skills.
yes,
I
I
love it.
feel really fortunate, and I am very grateful to that because I know in the past there has been secretaries or assistants there in my place, but they were making copies, arranging meetings, and probably never had been so much appreciated. And now I see um, a change in the mind of the higher level managers
Mm,
because all these changes are led by them, and if they don't care, nobody will care.
that's true. That's
That's
true.
true.
Yeah, it
Yes.
starts from the top.
And probably I won't stay there forever because well, I have another career, and probably I want to grow in that area.
Yeah.
Uh, But all these strategies, administrative skills will uh, will generate me or will help me to grow. I don't know, probably my own English institute or academy, and are things that I have never thought of. I have never make a chart in Excel before. And I think I mentioned Excel again because it was so hard for me to learn
Oh gosh. Oh my goodness.
because
Yeah,
we weren't exposed to that.
yeah.
Yeah.
And
I-
for
Excel
the
is the
most
worst enemy of the interns, I have to say. When you're just starting, you see Excel and you hate it, but when you start learning
yeah,
and you see all
Yes.
the things that you can do on Excel, you start to love it. I love Excel personally,
Yeah.
yeah, I
Yes.
do too. I used to
but
hate
it
How
hated
VLOOKUP.
at first.
how it
VLOOKUP.
makes your life easier.
Yeah, VLOOKUP used to be the death of me, and then I started doing VLOOKUPs, and now they're like the best
Yes.
thing ever. They're like your
Yeah.
best.
I know. Um, Flor, also, I have another doubt. I am so curious and doubtful today. Don't hate me, Florcies. Uh, I know you walk us through your mail experience during your different jobs, but also I would like you to share your experience when you started working in this manufacturing world. The difference is, for example, you told us the bathroom story
Hmm.
before you started working there, because we want to show our audience that we are opening paths.
Yeah.
Then there is always somebody before you, and maybe that person is struggling, but she's opening a new door for you.
Yes. Well, in this company we have two um, buildings. Let's say one
Hmm.
is a workshop, another is the administrative building. In the
Mm,
Hmm.
administrative building, the majority of us are girls because we can sit on a desk, have a computer, we have perfect conditions. But this is a very traditional industry,
mm,
and for many years there haven't been a girl in the workshops. They the girls got engaged, let's say 5 years ago,
mm.
and before that there weren't restrooms or bathrooms or
For
showers
women.
for
No
women.
women bathrooms, nothing. Just for men in the
Yeah.
workshop building, correct?
Yes, in the workshops, because the majority of the employees were men.
Men. Yeah.
Yes.
When do you know? This is just another curiosity. Do you
Yes.
know when the first female started working there?
I think they started as trainees in 2020.
2020?
Oh, pandemic.
2020?
Yes. I think it was 2020 or at least a few years before 2020, but as trainees, because also here in Argentina, technical schools don't have girls.
Oh.
It's very weird. Yeah,
If there
that's very weird.
are very few. So that's where all starts because you need education. You need to instruct women. You need to get him closer to industry. I don't know how to use a machine, for example,
Mm,
but because I have never been exposed to that, and I think that this gap we have comes in all areas, but mainly in education. There are few legislations to allow women to or that promote this technical school for girls. Here in Tucumán, we have at least two schools, dependency on national university, uh, that were only for men, only boys. And I think it was, I don't know, 7 years ago that the first girl entered those schools.
Yeah.
And at 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 first, the whole society were against that because they were traditionally for men or men
Yeah,
Wow.
only.
Yeah.
also, if I can share a friend that study at a university, I think is
Mm.
doing an engineer career.
Mm,
She told me that one of the teachers told her that when she was about to
student.
take a test, a final test, he told her that, "What are you doing here? This is not for you. You should be in your house cooking
Yes.
before final test." So even if you are studying at university, you are going to encounter some people, not everyone, but some
Yeah.
people that is going to tell you this kind of stuff.
Yes, because I think our past, probably the generation of our parents,
Yeah.
because when I remember to have an episode like that at university, where one of our teachers sent us to cook,
Oh,
and she was
Look at my
a
face.
female,
was it
and
me?
probably she learned that some
Yeah, but that's
probably
true.
her former teachers told her that, and she learned that, and she passes that to you.
Gosh.
And I think that uh, our parents' generations have to unlearn many concepts.
That's so powerful too, because
It
that's
Yes,
is.
true.
And
Yeah.
Generational gaps are very important. If you are
yes,
square-minded or not, and you accept things or not. For example, the secretary you were telling us about that was before you that never asked for a raise because she thought that she did not deserve it.
yeah,
Uh,
yes,
when leadership changed, somebody new came and taught her that what a
yes.
secretary is. That's a total mindset
And that was
change.
a story of a textbook. Imagine that. So
yeah.
Yeah.
the textbook probably was years
You? Oh
ago,
gosh.
Yeah,
um, and story so present in these days too.
Right. And just
Yeah.
to make it clear, it's not their fault for like thinking like that because like you said,
no,
it's generational. There's no right or wrong, but it takes that certain someone, whether it's a leader or
yeah,
yourself, to break that habit or like you
Yes,
said, learn.
and
Yeah.
that promotes our younger generations to start questioning.
Oh
Uh,
yes.
so
and
important.
we have that at university. We were in a generation of students who started asking, "Why are you treating me like that? If we are in this path, you are uh, so antique, let's say. So your concepts are not valid today."
Yep.
And probably those teachers for them was probably was harder too to to get their degree, to be at university, to be university teachers.
Yeah.
Yeah. What
Mm.
did you experience that in college or in school?
Yes, at college, at the university,
You
when
did. Well, what were you feeling at that time when you heard that?
I felt confused because
Um,
you are in a house of learning and all the greatest place, and you're there listening to a woman, an old woman, telling you
yep.
that.
Yep.
Why aren't you more supportive? I am here. I'm making an effort. This is because my career is it's known here to be one of the most difficult. It's
Mm.
very you need to do a lot of effort to cope with classes, to have a job if you need it. Um, so I was there listening to this woman, and I felt so confused and so disappointed
Hmm.
because she she should be making our way more, or our way easier, probably. Not
Mm,
so hard. Or why are you telling me to go to cook if I don't like cooking? Or or expecting me to act like a female role from all years.
yeah,
And it's so portrayed in literature. Like, I don't know, we were reading in literature, A Room of One's Own. I think it's from, I don't remember the author, but it's a girl
Mhm.
who portrays in her writing, if Shakespeare were a girl,
Mm,
what would happen with theater? Would that be easier to show their masterpieces, or would he had the chances to write? Probably at that time, no, because women didn't know how to write or weren't educated
Yeah.
yet,
yeah,
were in a high level as regards society.
yeah.
So
So we were
interesting.
at the same time reading that, and she was telling us to go to cook.
Go and cook. Take caught me, please.
So that's why it was confusing to me.
Yeah,
But now, where I was younger at the time, but now I can see it with other eyes, and I can see that she learned that concept.
Yeah, she did.
And fortunately, we are our generation is questioning more and more, and we gain more spaces. And I'm very proud to be living at this time.
Mm.
We have gained space in many areas.
Mm. Mm.
So I feel
You
good about that.
that's
and
good.
I have a question, Flor.
Yes.
Because you have a lot of experience working on male dominated industries, all your bosses were men. So, do you have any advice maybe for women that felt or felt like they are not being listened? Because, sometimes when you are a woman, you felt that your opinion or is not taken into account. So, you have any experience related to that? Do you
Mhm.
have any advice? What can you tell us?
I From my experience, I think we have to give loads of self-esteem to us,
Mm.
and to to acknowledge how powerful and worthy we are, and
Mhm.
that we are capable of many things as much as any man out there.
Yes.
And yes, of course.
definitely.
And we have to believe in ourselves.
Yep.
That's from there. It's the beginning of your career. If you believe in yourself, and you work on your self-esteem, you know that you are worth it. That nobody will tell you you don't belong here, your ideas are not good. And I think, if we think about our mothers and grandmothers and great grandmothers, probably they never even questioned
Yeah.
herself
Yeah,
about
I
and
think they didn't even thought about themselves like that they were a
No.
person.
yes,
Yeah. They
That's what
just
I
live their
think.
life for other people or for their children, like
and
yeah.
uh, I don't know if you remember Rugrats.
Yeah,
There
Yeah.
was
Oh,
a working
regrets.
mom.
Oh, yeah.
There
I
was
love
a Angelica's mother
yeah,
who encouraged Angelica. He said something like, she has to breathe power, she have to
Mm,
give us higher
yeah.
self-esteem, because she's
The
going
mother
to,
was,
yes,
yeah,
Angelica needs to live in a world full of men telling her that she's not valued. So I now that I am more conscious about that, I can see how advanced that woman was, that
yeah.
working
Mm.
mom. Like, probably at those times when was
Yep.
streamed the cartoon,
Yep.
she was the odd one.
Yeah, like a
in those
rebellious
years.
kind.
I
Yes.
remember her as the one that was
Oh,
all the
yes,
time
Oh
talking
always.
yeah,
on the
yeah,
phone,
always on the
very
phone.
with a very powerful suit, with a strong
Yes.
Oh
ponytail,
my god,
and she
right.
was all the time like working, like she was leading all the
And
time.
also the only one that had a phone.
Yeah,
Oh, that's a good point. I didn't even think about that. You're right. Like now that I think, and then like you have this Angelica like leading all the babies.
Yes. She had to breathe power and work on her self-esteem. She's so funny.
yeah,
And I
Yeah, I
And,
think,
think that it's so important what you are telling us because talking about the textbook that you read, that no
mhm,
one is going to give you the power if you don't feel it. If
yes,
someone tells you that
that's
you need to go to cook, if you have self-esteem and you know your worth, it's going
yes.
to be just centered like for here and going through here. It's not going to stay on your head.
and also I think that I always think of about me as the person I would like to look up when I was a child. So I am preparing myself to be like a role model for next generations, to
wow,
empower
that's
them.
lovely.
Because if we don't have someone to, some role models to follow, it's difficult for us to identify ourselves another person.
Oh my god.
We had lived many times looking
Generation.
up at high football stars, but we have never met one girl.
Yeah.
They are underpaid. They have to sell things in order to get a shirt. That's true.
Yes, and we know h- how many of us have watched the World Cup, the female World Cup. I think that none of us, but all the world has their eyes on the TVs when it's the
The
men
male.
world, the male World Cup.
Yeah,
So we need those figures, or we need those personalities or celebrities, or
Or
to
a
be to
normal
show.
girl. Yeah, just a
yeah,
Yes,
normal. Yeah. You don't
but
even
if
need
you
to be
think of
rep.
them, it has been very struggling for them to be out there
yeah. That's
because
true.
probably for men it is not like that. It is easier, but not for us.
Yeah, we
Yeah,
here
To,
at Women in Corporate, that's what we want to achieve. We want to let other women know that they are not alone, that their struggles are
yes,
our own, that
and
everyone may
also
be struggling with this. So we want to share
uh,
your story and other ones to
coming
inspire.
back to, yes, okay, thank you. Coming back to the topic of the cooking, I know now I noticed that we girls are expected to occupy more roles in corporate and teaching in, I don't know, in industries, and also in domestic affairs. We have also to be taking care of our parents, children, the
Yeah.
housekeeping,
yeah,
but men are not required to do that
Yeah.
job.
yeah,
So they keep their obligations like the only ones at work, but they don't acquire, don't, they are not requested to do their domestic job. So we
yeah,
are having more activities, and we are expected to cope with all of them, and they only breathe
yeah,
and rest.
No.
It's not against them, but it's like a fact.
Right.
Eh,
No, yeah, that's true. Is this is like the double sided of the society, like
yes,
wanting women to do
we
more,
are.
but you also expect to like raise a family and then find,
Yes,
contribute to the family
to take.
financially and whatever. These
Yes,
are such important parts, and I think we're about time here. So, like, just recapping, what we learned is like you have to place your own happiness on your own self. Like, trust yourself, because if you don't trust yourself, no one else is going to trust you more
yeah,
than you.
you. Hmm.
If you believe you can do it, I think it's you mentioned, right? Figure out the steps. Like you learn Excel, you learn all those extra skills to put you at
See,
that higher level and at that seat, to have a seat at a table with all the people in that male industry, dominated industry. Like, so this
yes,
yeah,
is and you're changing, and I've written so many quotes of yours.
Yeah.
I'm going to just like create memes of you
Yeah.
with other people. Like I'm feeling so inspired, and it's like almost bedtime for me. Like I am going to stay up all night just feeling I need to do things.
Yeah.
So, thank you so much
And
for sharing.
Yeah.
thank you
I
for
mean,
having me.
yeah.
And this space is very important for me to have a voice here. And for everyone out there listening, I think it's important to encourage us among us.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I
Yeah,
would
don't
like
be like
to,
my teacher.
yeah, no. And I would like to say that I learned not to follow stereotypes with you, Flor. That's very important. Never to follow stereotypes. You should be like, if you don't like something, stand up and fight
Yeah.
for it.
Yeah. Believe in
Thank you,
yourself.
Flor.
Thank
Yeah.
you.
Thanks
Thank
so
you,
Thanks,
much, so
Florcita, for
Flor.
be
much.
doing this.
Thank you.
Thank
Ah,
you. Thank you. All
thank
right.
you.
Good night. Oh,
Bye bye.
Bye bye.
Bye bye.
bye.
See
Bye.
you.
See you.